Hello and welcome to a new video. Has been quite a while since my last video, but today I would like to show you something that I cannot show in screenshots or anything else. So I create the video. Everybody knows that AI is something that everybody is more or less talking about. We are using it on our day-to-day basis. And we also know that usually there is no AI or that can do everything. So people came up with the idea of agents. And we know that every IoT application is different. And usually you have a workspace where you enter all of your devices. Just to show this, I have a few example applications. This one here is for industrial noise monitoring. So 2 sensors right now placed in an actual industrial environment. We can see the dashboards as usual, heat maps for seeing the values. And then we also have this installation here, which is 105 McClimate Wiki thermostats deployed in an office space for smart heating. This is fine, but to be honest, at some point this turns to be a little bit old school, let's say it in that way. So people asking us if they can speak to their data. And yes, AI can do this, but again, there's not just one AI that can do everything at all. AIs have to be different. And for example, we need agents that can be hooked up to your workspaces. Or if you are a customer using a white label solution on Datacake and you want to showcase something to your customers or have the ability to have your own large language model that can speak to the data of the solution that you offered for your customers, things get more complex. You need agents, and you need several agents for each workspace or for each application. And that's something that we can do with Datacake, and we came up with a different approach. Instead of having just one global AI agent for everything, we are now able to program your own agents for any workspace. Going to show you how this works. In this screen, you can see one of my accounts logged in to a local environment of OpenWebUI. And this one is attached to these workspaces in here. So for each of these workspaces, we do have different kinds of agents. All of these agents have their own system prompt that are matching the requirements of these workspaces in here. And let's start. So we have the LoRaWAN Fleet Health agent. We have a heating and climate efficiency agent that's hooked up to this workspace where we have all of these McClimate Wiki thermostats. And then last but not least, we also have the factory noise level agent, which is hooked up to this workspace where we do have these 2 monitors. Now, each of these agents do have their own system prompt, and they do have their own way of communicating with the Datacake API, which is tailored to the actual use case of that application. So it's a generic, not a generic, it's a dedicated agent for your IoT application. Let's start with the heating, and climate efficiency agent. As mentioned, this has access to a workspace which has 100 plus McClimate Wiki sensors for smart heating. Now we have 3 different kinds of presets. You can predefine them. For example, these devices measure humidity and temperature. So let's see what is the mold risk. We have templates for it. Just sending this to the AI. And the large language model now is fetching the data from the GraphQL API. And you're now basically able to see what's going on. A couple of devices in here. We have mode level low 96 and then the high ones with 2. This is quite unusual because, let's see, check the current weather. Does it make sense that these devices have high mold risk right now? This agent also has access to current weather forecasts. And now the weather in Vreden, which is the place where this location is, shows a temperature of 22 with relative humidity of 32. This suggests a relatively dry environment. And this seems like something is odd with these. Okay, let's see. Check the sensors that have high mold risk. Did they report their values recently? Or are they maybe offline? Okay, they are off. One of them is offline and one of them is online. Okay, so this means that something is odd with the sensors in the cafeteria. Let's see what's going on. What is going on in the cafeteria. Show me an overview. Okay, now I can see all of these values or the sensors that have been placed in the cafeteria area. And we can see that the one that has a high mold risk has a room temperature of 13.88. But as we checked out before, it was reporting today. So that means something is maybe odd with the sensor. I can now go into Datacake and check what's going on with the sensor. But I can also download this report here. So this is just one example of what you can do with a tailored agent that's working on your workspaces. Let's go ahead and do something else instead. We switch and create a new chat. And now I'm interested in the factory noise level agent. So like you have an application for your customers. You have your IoT sensors in the workspace, and now you want your customers, or to give your customers the opportunity, the possibility to be able to talk to their data. So we have a few prompt suggestions: weekly noise overview, daily noise overview. So I want to know how it was today. Right now, there are just 2 sensors, but of course, this can also work with hundreds of sensors like shown in the McClimate Wiki workspace that I just presented. Okay, here's the overview. Current noise levels are relatively low with both devices under 40 dBA. The highest peak occurred at 6 with a max of 80 dB. Okay, so seems to be all good. We can start a new chat and let's see if we can create a noise compliance report. Okay, this looks quite good. And then we can see if, can you extend this to a whole week, a whole month? And I'm also switching on the code interpreter because this now gives the ability, the LLM, the ability to run code with the data coming from the Datacake API. So now the LLM also has some functions to access the historical measurement data for sensors. It fetches all of them, and then it uses the code interpreter to run Python code to create a more comprehensive or detailed report. Yeah, as you can see, it was running some analytics on the data based on these 2 sensors, and then for the whole month, and then all the events where there was kind of some noise events. You can use this now and download it, and this is actually a good and new way to speak to your data directly, and it works even more powerful if you imagine having a fleet of hundreds of sensors. There's more examples of different kinds of agents that you can use, so let's go ahead and start a new chat. We also have the IoT LoRaWAN Fleet Health Agent. And this again is attached to the workspace that I've been using with the climate demo. This is the McClimate Wolves, but it's not actually focusing on the actual sensor data, but more on the fleet health. So we have different kinds of suggestions like battery status, signal status, fleet health. So I'm going to ask, how are my devices doing? Any issues that you see? Again, the agent now does its work. It's all depending on the system prompt. So you can really create an agent for your purpose. If you need an agent that helps you with the fleet health, or if you need an agent that helps you with measurement values, then you can basically write it in the system prompt and give some hooks to the Datacake API. Okay, here's an overview of the device fleet health report. We can see the total devices, online, offline devices. We can see which devices are online, okay, but also the one that are offline and key issues identified, significant offline devices, and so on. There's one that is offline for 839 days, but as mentioned, it's a malfunctioning device. And the last heard beyond thresholds, devices like this one here hasn't communicated over 510 days, but the rest of them are online. Okay, we can go further here. Please access the debug logs of device with ID and see and analyze the LoRaWAN radio parameters and gateway stats. Let's see. Okay, so now it was finally able to find the debug log functionality, and then it actually basically prints the latest performance measurements, the performance values of the LoRaWAN wireless frequency stuff. of the radio parameters. So this is just another example of how you can define your custom agents for any workspace. My video, or the purpose of my video, was to show you that you cannot create one AI for everything. You need different kinds of AIs. And this is especially powerful if you have a customer workspace with lots of devices and you hand over this installation to your customer, having IoT sensors in buildings, in industrial installations, whether it's climate monitoring, building monitoring, energy monitoring, whatever, even field level monitoring. If you want your customers to see your dashboards, there's now a new opportunity. So instead of looking just at dashboards and trying to find informations and read them out, you can now actually go ahead in these and use custom designed agents, and we can help you to create these agents and bring your own chat-based solution for your customers, where you can invite your customers, add accounts to them, and also white label this. And if you have interest in that, let me know, and we are going to provide information, quotations, and stuff like that. One thing, last but not least, there's also something that you can do. Last but not least, the last thing that I wanted to show you is that you can also use these agents for sure to run code. And this also helps you to use all of these informations within your threads or the answers of the large language model to create plots or different kinds of reports or even full PDF reports. As you can see, the LLM is currently generating or trying to generate something. I hope this works now in this demonstration. It was actually generating the image, but due to some issues with the file system, I'm not able to, or not, my user is not allowed to access it. Let's switch to a different user. And you can see in here, for example, how we can use the same tool and agents to be able to actually plot things directly from the large language model. That's it. That's what I wanted to show you. If you, again, have use cases for this, let us know. We can help you. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.